Highway east of Omaha, you can listen to the engine moaning out his one-note song. You can think about the woman.
Hey there, here we are again at Neighborhood Training. This week we're going to continue on breaking out the East Falmouth district, the downtown area of East Falmouth, and work on this area of Old Barnstable and Old Meeting House Road. As you recall, I'm sure you remember that Old Meeting House starts at the Davisville 28 lights, loops through the bogs, and then shoots up to Carriage Shop on the western side of the bogs. And Old Barnstable starts right across from Macapesket and goes just the opposite way, crisscrosses and heads towards Barnstable. The Old Meeting House is the East End Meeting House, the Jewish Congregational Church. That's what they're talking about. So that's what that road was there for, and Old Barnstable is headed towards Barnstable. So, but we are going to be working our way on Old Barnstable from the bogs up to Carrot Shop. And this area here, as we have found throughout East Falmouth, in some areas of Falmouth we've spoken about areas being very seasonal. These areas here of East Falmouth are have year-round people, predominantly year-round population, the working people of Falmouth, and they are there 24/7. So we can always think of their property and houses being occupied. It's mostly all single-family dwellings. There have been a few condo complexes that have popped up. In the meantime, there aren't really any businesses per se there. Tavares' nursery is about the only somewhat industrial complex in that area. And I think that up in here is Repose's excavation, the another small industrial process there. Beyond that, it's mostly all single family and with a few multi-family dwellings. Just the lay of the land here, it's all fairly flat, former farmland, so it's pretty straightforward in that. We do have the Falmouth Country Club to the west and east of Old Barnstable Road in this area here. Okay, so we're not really going to go through where all the teas and all that stuff is, but just know that the Falmouth Country Club, owned by the town of Falmouth, is there, and we do have that open area. And then further beyond that, when we're looking at going behind the Falmouth Air Park, we do have this big parcel of land here. So even though this place is pretty well built up, we do have some parcels of land that are still pretty well open. You see it's a very large tract right here on either side of the bogs here. Okay, that we do have quite a bit of open land still available there, and I believe this is turning into conservation land, so that will be there forever when we talk about our wildfire potential. And that about wraps that up from the perspective that I want to look at on the video. This here, I want to just point out that we are this is the town map once again, and just looking real quick, we show that there's there's roads here. They're all got hydrants on them. It's the golf course property up over here, left and right, and that just kind of shows that what kind of road networks we have, and the lot configurations in there are fairly small. So I want to go back to this map here and then work our way up from the bogs and from Crocker Road, where the crossover occurs, and work our way up. And here we have the Crocker and Bahia Lane here, and we talked about Loden Green before, the cul-de-sac, and then we have Old Warcoit Road. Now, I mentioned Old Warcoit Road for a couple of reasons. Is that this road actually continues on into a small dirt road beyond here. And if we look quickly back at this Google map here, bring it up, it's just good knowledge to know, as we talked about wildfire potential, that here's Old Warcoit Road here, and if you come to the end here, there is a path through these woods here that connects all the way over to this side of the bog and over to Alex Booker Road and Timborne Cartway here. So it does give us access to this side of the woods, and also there is another pathway that runs into this whole area here on this side of the bogs. So just for our local knowledge, and it's always good to know how we can get into there. Now, one of the first neighborhoods that I want to look at here is the Windswept Road, Bacchus River area here. And this could be slightly confusing, but if you study it, especially as I'd recommend the people in East Falmouth and headquarters do, make sure this is what we talk about when we do neighborhood training. So when we get a neighborhood like this that initially seems a little confusing, this is where we really want to break this apart and talk about this. This neighborhood here is all single-family dwellings. It's capes and ranches, colonials, probably 1,000 to 1,800 square feet. There's hydrants in there. And what is the road network in there? What are the roads in here? This is what we're all about. Pine Ridge Road comes right in here off the bogs and runs straight up. So Pine Ridge is our main access. Our other access through there is Windswept. Okay, Windswept Road runs up and intersects with Helen. Now Helen doesn't go through, so but it does connect these two together. And then if we continue up Pine Ridge, we come Bacchus River. And Bacchus River comes off of Old Barnstable and just swings around. Pretty easy, but by being easy, it's something that we should know, and it should just be ingrained in us, especially if it's your still alarm district. Now, they cross them there on Old Barnstable is Mill Farm Way. It's a fairly new development in here. I'm not sure whether the dispatch computers have picked this up as far as the addresses, but these are all numbered addresses on Mill Farm Way, 17, 19, and so on. They are all single-family dwellings, so a wood frame. They're put in the past 3 or 4 years. Technically, they are condos. Okay, according to the town deeds and according to the way they are laid out, they are actually condos, but they are single-family dwellings. And so just be aware of that. I wanted to, if I can pick this up real quick, I will show you. Let's see. Right here is what those Mill Farm condos look like. As you say, it looks like a little farmhouse. It's a single family garage, attached garage, pretty good size. Okay, but I don't know why they configure them as condos, but they have. So okay, all right, so we go Mill Farm, and then we work up our way, and then we come to this Loop Road, Country Club Lane. Houses in there are probably around the 1,500 square foot, the typical Large colonial with the garage, the double garage with the bonus room. Those are the type of houses that are in there. Those are fairly new, probably within the last 15 years. We've had a couple of calls out there. And as we move up, we come to Beyond Country Club. We come into down at the end here. This is where the whole Rainey's trash and landfill dump area is, right in here. Okay, Adeline's Way is, it's there, but there's no houses on it yet. This here is another area that houses condos, and 40B condos. You look at this lot and you go, how would they possibly pack this many units into a very straightaway lot like this? And it's because of the 40B development. Now these they appear on this map, and I would ask the people in dispatch and in the computer sector to keep an eye on this, because these are both numbered 350 Old Barnstable Road. Okay, they are condos, and I forgot what they're called. I don't think they're called fairway condos or something, but they are abutting the golf course right here. So that's something, another condo complex to keep on the map. And I believe, let me make sure I have this correct here. Okay, these are the buildings here. This is one of, I believe, 3 buildings that are on there, and I believe there are 3 units, pretty good size units there, but they're 3 units together. 1, 2, 3 electric meters over here, and I think a 4th for common use, like for the street lights and so forth. So pretty far apart, but we once again do our multifamily dwellings, and that's some of the things we want to point out. Now as we go up and follow up, Hall Lane just basically services these houses here, but there is 45 Hall Lane. And then we have Putter Drive, which is pretty well developed out. And then we come up a little bit more, and we come up to Eagle Drive here. And this shows that it's not being developed, but I know there's a couple of houses in there that have recently been put in. And then one area I want to make everybody aware of is this complex of 4 houses right here. Okay. These are what they look like are single-family dwellings, but in reality they are apartments, and I believe they're broken into 2 or 3 apartments here. And I want to make sure that, I believe it could be this one here. Okay. And sometimes they're pretty hard to see from the road. And this is 2 of them here, and we have a this looks like a single-family home here, but there's obvious signs of multiple accesses and all that. So this house here has been broken up into at least 2 apartments, and I know to the one to the rear is broken. It looks like another split-level ranch, but it's been broken up into 2 apartments. So just be aware of that. I know we did have a call a few years ago. I think a child was killed in one of these apartments here by a parent. So we had this little pocket of multifamily dwellings right at that point there. Okay. Here we have Caleb's Way, which is being developed pretty well. And then we come up to the intersection of Carriage Shop and Old Barnstable. And we've spoken about the upper end of Old Barnstable, and we're going to talk about this section here in another segment of the conversation here. Now, we have Mary Rose Lane here, which is a dirt road, having some single-family houses on it here. And then next to it, we got this development here, which is currently being developed. There are a couple of houses that are being put in here: Dry Run Road and Hanks Way. Okay, with the well hydrants, good hydrants in the area. Now, we want to also keep in mind this complex of condos right here. I believe it's, I don't know, I forgot whether it's Pine Tree or Pine Cone or whatever it is, condo complex, but it's this complex right here, 565, and there are this units right here, and these were put in probably about 10 or 15 years ago. They were actually not supposed to be built there, but the planning board in Falmouth didn't take action on them in their appointed time, so they got approved. So they're there. And we have these units here, as you can see. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units in a row, all wood frame, okay, and no sprinklers, and no blocks, no alarm system. I know we've been out there for, I think it was a dryer fire in one of these units up on the second floor. I think we've been out there for a few rescue runs here and there, but by and large it's been fairly quiet. But we should keep in mind that we do have a problem in there. We do have much more exposure and a large building here, probably on the order of almost 10,000 square foot. So we've talked about that before, about dividing that times 3, divided by 3. So, in order to put this out 100% involved, which hopefully it would not be, we would need 3,000 gallons of water. I don't think we would have 100% involvement, but we have to keep in mind if we have 50% or 25% involvement here, it's going to take over 1,000 gallons of water. And also we're going to need to move very, very fast to cut off the fire and protect exposures and do rescue at the same time. So that's the problem with these things getting by without sprinklers, without detection, and being built. And it's fairly unusual for Falmouth. And we have Bacardi Lane, which is a small road set up in here. So zoom out there. Okay, so we want to look real briefly here again on kind of a review of this section of Old Barnstable Road. We call it the Old Barnstable Road neighborhood of East Falmouth. Primarily wood frame, single family dwellings. We do have the aforementioned condos and apartment buildings, multi-family dwellings. There are hydrants throughout. We do have a good network of hydrants, so if we do have something that involves more than 1,000 gallons a minute, we can grab 2 hydrants from 2 different areas to give us more water by 2 different engines. The roads, we have Old Barnstable, Old Warcoit, and Crocker, Loden Green, and Mill Farm Way, Country Club, Adeline's Way, which is not developed at this point, Putter, Eagle, Caleb's Way, Bacardi Lane, and then the development of Pine Ridge, Helen, Bacchus River, and Windswept. And then we have the new development is Dry Run and Hanks Way, and Mary Rose Lane right next to it. Hazards, they're pretty low hazards, but anytime we have multiple family, and any type of hazard beyond the normal single family, we want to point it out. The apartments 661, 659, and 350. Condos at 350, which are the ones right on the golf course. And the other condos at Carrot Shop and Old Barnstable. And then our response time is very similar in this area here, mile and a half. Station 5 should be able to get there in 4 minutes. And headquarters is 4 miles and Station 4 is 5. So we should be able to look at a 4, 6, 8 minute response time and being assemble our firefighting force in a fairly quick amount of time. But in order to do that, we need to be cognizant of our neighborhood and our duty to know this area and the ins and outs of the developments in the area. So that about wraps up this segment of neighborhood training, and I urge you to look at this on your own and really work on your weaknesses and express your strengths to perhaps people that have a weakness in learning these roads, and really bring this home. So in the meantime, till we meet again, stay safe and eat healthy.